All right, so I was in Washington, D.C. with the Rodham Institute, which is housed within the George Washington University. And I'm from Telluride High School as well. All right, so the Rodham Institute strives for health equity through education, so that will include educational webinars, college readiness programs, free health screenings, vaccination clinics, and they just try and help the underserved populations of DC is their main goal. So this is my first event once I got to DC. It was the Juneteenth event, and this is when I met the other interns. And essentially our booth there, we provided resources for health resources and what the Rodham Institute does, which are webinars, monthly webinars, and at the Juneteenth event, which was at a local church, there were free COVID vaccines, free kidney screenings, free liver screenings, etc. So every month I attended a medical grand rounds meeting, which is where every month a hospital will have a meeting with the majority of the physicians, and they will talk about a special case or some recent findings they've had. And so I chose this slide because I found it very relevant to what we have now. And pretty much it shows that a reproduction number for viral transmission. So a reproduction number above 1 indicates ongoing spread, and a reproduction number below 1 indicates that the virus can no longer be maintained. And so seasonal flu has a reproduction number of 1.3 to 2.7, whereas COVID has a reproduction number of 2.2 to 5.7. So I just found that very interesting. And then this is me with the interns as well. So this is the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. And this is where Cora Berry, so the wife of Marion Barry, who's the first Black mayor of DC, I don't know if that rings a bell for anybody, but she created this tennis learning center to keep kids off the streets in the most underserved parts of DC, which include wards 6, 7, and 8. So it's been very successful. The Williams sisters have visited the tennis and learning center, so it was very interesting to see what was at works. And then this is the John F. Kennedy Center, and this is where the Rodham Institute will attend summits or other health policy events like that. And so I just got to check it out and see what it's all about. And then I was very lucky, and I got to do a webinar with the Rodham Institute with the nonprofit Crutches that aims at educating young adults about the healthcare system, given that young adults are the highest uninsured demographic in the US. So this is the webinar. This is my face. And it was posted on blackdoctor.org, which has over 20 million followers. And I got to do a webinar with Dr. Leighton Koo, who worked with the Obama administration at forming the Affordable Care Act, and also 2 other professors from the George Washington University Milken Institute of Public Health. And so this was actually a big hit. I got 11,000 views. So there's that. And so this was part 1, and this was just educating people about the fundamentals of health insurance. And then part 2 webinar was specific scenarios. So, if your parents have health insurance and you're under the age of 26, what are your options there, etc. And actually, on one of the comments I got it said they were about to lose their job, and this webinar was very helpful for them, and they learned a lot from it. So there's that. Yeah. And then conclusion, I learned a lot. I learned how to be independent, and communication was always key. And you just got to get the work done. That's what the Rodham Institute does. They impact a lot of people, and you do it simply by just getting the work done. So no more procrastinating. And then since I was in DC, I was very lucky, and I got to do a lot while I was there. So this is everything in DC. I was very lucky. The Thomas Jefferson Memorial was completely empty, which rarely happens, but COVID was on my side, so. And then I think there's one more. And then this is me at a Nationals game. I tried Japanese barbecue for the first time. There are a lot of different types of food in DC. Afghan, Lebanese. I tried to explore every single food option since Telluride is very limited. And that is it. So